Good afternoon, and hope you're having a good day. I want to turn to Matthew chapter 13 this afternoon. Continuing our series of the Gospel of Matthew. We've been looking in Matthew chapter 13 on Sunday afternoons for the last few weeks, and Jesus has quite a few parables that he's been giving, and we want to look at a couple more small parables. We looked at a couple small ones last week. There's a couple small ones here. But of course, even though these are small parables, don't take long to read at all. They are very important, of course, but huge meaning and something we really need to meditate on and ask ourselves what this means to us, how this applies to us, and what are we doing with it. So in Matthew chapter 13, today we're going to look at verses 44 through 46. A couple parables here. Jesus giving these parables, trying to explain to the people what the kingdom of heaven is like. That is what it's going to require, what it's going to involve, what it means to be a follower of Christ. And here he gives a couple parables that reminds us of how important the kingdom of heaven is, and what it should mean to us, and what we should be willing to do in order to be a part of the Lord's kingdom, so that we can be in heaven with God forever. Beginning in verse 44, Matthew chapter 13, beginning in verse 44, Jesus says that the kingdom of heaven is like treasure that is hidden in a field, which a man finds, and then goes and hides, and for joy over it, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Here's a man going about, I don't know, maybe he's searching for treasure. Maybe he was looking for it. Maybe he happened upon it, whatever the case may be. But you could imagine if it was any of us. I mean, if we found buried treasure, say we found a trunk of jewels and gold, millions of dollars, whatever, amount, fill in the blank. We found it in a field one day, dug it up, what would we do? How would we react? I mean, that'd be exciting, that'd be awesome. We'd think, oh, well, I really got to have this, I really want this. Well, this guy, he, is in the field, he finds this hidden treasure, and he hides it, because he wants to protect it. He's found this treasure, doesn't want anybody to know he's found this treasure, so he hides it again. And then he goes out and he goes to buy this field. But in order to buy the field, so his goal is, if he finds this treasure, the treasure's in the field, he's going to go buy the field, so that then that field belongs to him, of course, and then, hey, that treasure belongs to him then too. But in order to do that, notice it says that he goes and he sells all that he has. He is so excited, he is so overjoyed over this treasure that he has found, that he is willing to go and sell all of his possessions, sell everything he has, so have enough money to go buy the field, which, man, that's a lot. It's something I guess I've never really, I guess it makes sense. Maybe it's just dawning on me. We say, oh, that's a great price for him to do, what a sacrifice that is, if you will, for him to go and sell everything that he has. And that's true. It is a great sacrifice. But think of the reward. He had to go sell everything he had in order to buy this field, but then he gets that treasure. That treasure that was obviously worth more than all of his possessions. To him, it was worth everything. So the reward was worth it. And again, Jesus gives another parable, much the same, in verses 45 and 46, when he says that, again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant who was seeking beautiful pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. Here is just kind of another storyline. You have a merchant, a dealer in beautiful pearls. He's seeking beautiful pearls, and he finally finds just this one that is so great, so beautiful, of great price. And so he goes and sells all that he has so that he can buy this one pearl. Again, he finds something that's so valuable beyond anything he already has, and he is willing to give everything in order to obtain this one pearl of great price. Why did Jesus give these two parables? What is his message to us? Well, I think it's pretty plain to see that Jesus is saying that the kingdom of heaven is worth more than anything we can imagine. It is worth more than anything this world has to offer. So we too, in order to obtain the kingdom of heaven, no, we don't have to go out and sell all our physical possessions, and that's not the point. But the point is we are to give our everything to God. We are to give up sin. We're to sacrifice, if you will. We're to sacrifice sin. We're to give up the lusts and sins and pleasures of this world that are opposed to God. And then we're to be willing to live our lives for Him, to give our whole life to the Lord, love Him with all of our heart, serve Him with all of our heart, for the joy of knowing God, for the joy of having the eternal reward with Him in heaven and being in His kingdom. And so these two small parables remind us that when we find God, when we find Jesus, when we find the kingdom of heaven, it is worth giving up everything this world has to offer. Because this world is passing away, this world is temporary, this world will not last, sin will not last. The only thing that's going to matter after this life is over is where will I be in eternity? Am I going to spend eternity with God in heaven, or am I going to spend eternity away from God in hell? And certainly, heaven is worth it all. Heaven is worth everything. Being with God is worth everything that God asks us to do, requires us to do, whatever sacrifices that may be. We need to do whatever it takes to be in heaven with God, and to be willing to follow the Lord and obey Him no matter what, and be faithful to Him no matter what. Because if you miss heaven, then you've missed it all. You've missed everything. And so Jesus is trying to instill in us and remind us, teach us, the importance and value of what it is to know Him, what it is to be a part of the kingdom of heaven. And we need to ask ourselves, what am I willing to do? Are there sacrifices that I have yet, that I've not been willing to make yet? Have I really given my all to the Lord? Have I given Him my heart? Have I given Him my life? Or am I just unwilling to pay the cost He's called me to pay? To sacrifice self, to give up self, to empty self, to take up my cross and follow Him. What am I willing to do? What is my soul worth to me? Hopefully we will see what Jesus says here, that knowing God, being in His kingdom, being in heaven is worth it all, everything. Give your all to the Lord, because if you miss heaven, then you've missed it all. God bless.